Hi.
Welcome to the W7W Podcast. This is a show about our local yarn store here in Fort Worth, Texas, W7W.
That's right. So what do we have to cover today?
Well, it's the beginning of November. It's November 5th.
That's right.
We've already had a couple of classes. We have a few more to go.
We do. So we've got a technique class coming up.
Intarsia.
That's right. They're going to be knitting the Earth and Sky shawl, Stephen West, I believe.
Yeah, that is true. Yep. And then we've got another technique class at the end of the month, the ever popular.
The Fish Lips Kiss Heel.
Yeah. Is that still your favorite?
Is amazing. Is amazing. Is the truth.
That's still your sock knitting truth.
That is it.
Okay. All right. So besides the second Fox Fingerless Mitts class, which was a big hit.
Yes.
Which is part 2. So you had to do part 1 to take part 2. Besides that, we just have beginning knitting and crochet.
That's right, every Saturday.
All right, the other things going on. We have until the end of this week, until Friday, we still have pieces from the Woolfolk collection.
That's right.
The Woolfolk Trunk Show.
They just happen to be behind us right now.
These lovely sweaters.
Do I need to?
From the Earth Elements collection. They're really lovely and very soft. If you hadn't had a chance to come and get your hands on them, you should. Till this Friday. And then another thing that's going on this Saturday, I'll be at the first ever Fort Worth Makers Fall Market. That's going to be on Camp Bowie Boulevard, just east of I-30 on Camp Bowie. That is the east side, right?
Yes.
Just on the east side of Camp Bowie. I'll be giving away, we're not really selling anything at this market because there's no electricity and no Wi-Fi. However, I will be giving away these Learn to Knit kits that Skacel has donated. It's their 10,000 New Knitters initiative, and what it does is it teaches new knitters a really quick, simple project, which are these fingerless mitts. So I'll be doing all-day Learn to Knit demonstrations and giving away these free kits to new knitters. So if you know someone who's a new knitter or who has, probably if you're watching this, you already knit. So, but if you have a friend or a family member who's wanted to learn, here's a great opportunity. Free needles and yarn. How can you beat that?
It's pretty great.
Pretty great this Saturday. All right, what else, Hunter?
All right, what else? Well, we should probably go ahead and talk about Spinzilla and the results because we actually forgot to cover this last time.
We did.
Now, some of the spinners so kindly offered to let us hold on to their yarn that they spun for Spinzilla, which also increases the urgency.
They need it back, huh?
Yeah, I think they need it back. It increases the urgency in knocking this out, so let's go ahead and talk about it now.
Let's do it.
Okay. Here are some examples. These were spun by Amy Georgopoulos.
Yay. On her spindle.
Yes.
And that's the Leon Alexander Unicorn Department colorway.
Yeah, she also won Best Picture
Yeah, that's a great picture.
award for it because, yeah, she had a little unicorn picture.
I love the way this turned out. We need to get this back to her because I'm sure she wants to do something special with it. Okay, what else do you have?
Okay, then these were spun by Penny.
Oh, Penny, those are lovely. Okay.
And then finally, these big crazy ones were spun by Kristen Cathy.
Oh, those are nice. That's a lot of yarn. What is this? 329 yards of 2-ply. That's a lot. Oh, I love this thick.
This is the Halloween one. She actually spun some fake Halloween webbing into that. Then
like spider web?
That one.
Like the spider webs?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I see it in there. That's fun.
Isn't it? So yeah,
Very
great
nice.
job, you guys.
Good job. I think it's amazing that Kristen can do both tiny, fingering weight almost, and big chunky stuff. It's hard to do both, in my opinion. It's hard to go from one to the other.
I'm taking your word for it.
All right, what else is going on? Oh, a couple of weeks ago, I received in the mail an order that I purchased, the Hedgehog Fibers interchangeable needles. And before, well, as they were being offered to the public, we emailed and asked if they would be available wholesale. And she said, not right now, but they will. And then about a week before I got them, they did send out an email saying, we're now ready to wholesale if you would like to order them for your shop. And I'm like, I want to touch them first. I want to get my hands on them. So I got my hands on them. They're in a lovely package. They're packaged beautifully in a gold, shiny gold case, which is beautiful. They're rose gold metal. I think they might be aluminum. They're pretty light. In sizes ranging from US 2 to 11s. And I knit this on the 3s, and I'm knitting a sweater on the 10.5s right now. It comes with 3 rigid-ish cords. They're not, and when I say rigid, it's because the others are really malleable. They're really loosey-goosey. And I originally started knitting this with these really loose ones, and it just didn't work. It was just too wobbly, so I think these would be best for magic loop because they're very flexible. I think that's what they would be best intended for. But you get 6. You get 3 of each size, and I think it makes like a... Oh, I'm not sure. Does it say on the front what lengths they are? Oh, yeah, 24, 32, and a 40. So I'm assuming that that's with the 5-inch tips. That would make a 40. That would make a 32 when they're connected. Yeah. The most interesting thing about these particular interchangeables are the way that they hook together. I think it might be hard for you to see. I think I did post an Instagram story, but the way that they work is there's a little tweezer type thing on the end of the cable, and it fits in to the needle. So once you click it in, it's kind of like the clicks. Once you click it in, it's not going anywhere, and the needle can rotate on the cord, and it stays fairly well in there. The hard part is getting it out. You have to have a special tool. They're these little plastic tweezers, and you have to have very good eyesight. There are 2 tiny little marks, one on the needle assembly and one on the cable. You have to have this perfectly aligned. Then you have to perfectly align these tiny little prongs into the tiny little holes. And if those things are aligned and the planets are aligned, you might be able to unlock your needle. What happens is these tiny little prongs push in on the little tweezers and allow them to release. It's just very difficult to do. And I think that what's going to happen is these little tweezers are going to end up getting, what is that called when you mess up the head of your screw? Stripped? I think that's what it's going to happen to these little tweezers, is they're going to get stripped. They do give you 2 of them in here, so in case you lose one or you break one of the prongs off of these. But see, I'm still trying to do it, and it's not.
Do you want me to take a crack at it?
You can if you like. And I'll talk about something else. The other pet peeve of mine that it's not a huge deal, it's not a deal breaker. Very good. It's not a deal breaker, but they're not labeled. None of the needles are labeled. So there's no markings on them. And there's no gauge in the set. They don't give you a needle gauge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a little
And they don't even throw you a
strange.
little plastic needle gauge in there, which is interesting. And the last thing I'll say about them is the connection is not really that smooth. I mean, it is smooth, but the little holes that you put the tiny plastic tweezers in are not, they're not beveled, so you can feel it when you're sliding your yarn. You can feel, if they had beveled the holes, maybe, I don't know, if maybe that might not have worked. They wouldn't be such like raw metal. What you doing? Did you put it back in?
I put it back in.
No, you can't get. Ah! Good job. And then, but the other thing is, and it tells you this in the diagram in the kit, is once you use the needles, the tweezers are now, the little tweezer parts are now closer together, and you have to use the edge of the needle to bend out the tips again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see that going wrong. I see somebody snapping off a little cable assembly, one of the little prongs. I see that happening.
Aren't you just a little Debbie Downer?
Well, I'm just telling you all the reasons that we probably won't be carrying these in the shop right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I kind of doubt that they're selling replacement cables just yet. Am I using them? Yeah, I'm using them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I bought them. Do you remember how much they were?
Oh, yeah.
How much are they?
They're $225.
They're about $225 US.
That's my reason for not carrying them in the shop.
All in all, not a bad set, but I think they still have some things to do. Mostly having them labeled would be nice. That's just an extra bonus, would be pretty cool. Maybe that was an afterthought. Maybe they didn't think it was necessary. I don't know. The idea of them is pretty cool. It's just they're a little rough, I think. And I think even I've heard people say that they don't like the signature interchangeables because they can feel the join. I think any interchangeable is going to have a detectable feel with the join. So I'm using these, and they're working great for what I'm using them for.
Very good.
I managed to do a whole project with them, so almost two.
And by the way, if any of you guys actually did get a set of these Hedgehog interchangeables,
And you want to tell us about them?
yeah, let us know. But then
Let us know your
also,
thoughts.
what I was going to say was that if you need a needle gauge, we can help you out with that too.
We have needle gauges. All right, so it is almost a complete set, though. You get US 2 to 11, which is pretty good. And they are lovely. They're beautiful. All right, what's next?
All right.
Do you want to talk about some new products?
We can talk about new products.
All right.
So, Karen swung by last week from Roundtable.
Karen Robinson?
Karen Robinson.
Yeah.
With our new yarn order from Roundtable. So, we got more Merlin, which is their fingering weight sock yarn. But we also brought in the Cornwall base, which is a DK weight Superwash BFL. I wasn't quite sure what to make of it when I was thinking about bringing it in, but then Erin M from Chicks with Sticks came in, and she had a sweater that she had knit from it, and I saw that it was actually really nice, so I was like, okay, we should go ahead and bring in some of this new yarn base. So we brought in Cornwall, their DK weight yarn.
And what's different about it?
Besides the Superwash BFL?
Oh, you said that already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to get redundant on you guys. But here's a few colors we have. This one is called, oh Lord, I'm going to try to say the names. This is Poisoned Apple. This one is Bowmane's Excalibur. That's easy enough. And then Green Knight. I grabbed the easy ones. So just by coincidence. So yeah, we've got some more colors, and come check it out.
So a BFL might be preferable to a Merino if you would like to construct a sturdier sweater. I know a lot of times, especially in Texas, we make fingering weight sweaters out of very delicate yarns, and they don't last very long. A BFL is going to wear and tear a bit better than a Merino. It won't be quite as soft, but it will last a lot longer.
It is still softer than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very nice.
All right, what else do we have?
What else do we have? Well, last week we told you about the new Mechetta.
Mecca.
Okay. Yeah, you're right, Mecca. I don't know. And we thought when we were ordering it, we thought we were getting a slightly thicker yarn.
It is a bulky weight yarn, and it is, I think it's 11 to 14 stitches per 4 inches, so that's right in the bulky category, but it looks pretty close to an Aran weight to us.
Yeah. So we went ahead and brought in
Rasta,
which is the real bulky yarn. So you can tell the difference between these two. Oh, there we go. Very, very bulky. Not so bulky. So that's new.
Yep.
Oh, we also have these cute stitch markers or progress keepers, whatever you want to call them. These clay, mostly food objects. They're really cute, from Sucre Miniatures.
I've had a few customers actually squeal when they saw those.
Oh,
on the
really?
counter.
These are really cute.
Yep.
This one's like a slice of blueberry cheesecake. It's a chocolate chip cookie and a pretzel. Got lots of peaches. Millions of peaches. Peaches for free.
These peaches ain't free.
Millions of peaches. Peaches for me. There's a hamburger. Anyway, those are cute, and I think it looks like we sold a lot of them. There's little blue macaron. Very cool. So we'll probably be ordering some more here pretty fast.
Yeah, I'd say sooner than later for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anything else new? I think that's all the new stuff. Oh, we have a couple of big boxes of new stuff.
Yeah, we got to the shop today to do the podcast, and sure enough, there are a couple of big boxes waiting for us, and we thought we'd open them up with you guys.
Let's open.
Because why not?
Why not?
I mostly got yours open. So
Oh, you pre-cut?
I
Nice.
did pre-cut.
Oh,
I
not
figure
that
we don't
good.
want to leave these guys waiting too long.
Oh, I hope they're wrapped in cellophane.
Oh boy.
If you haven't watched one of our other podcasts, we are really good at crinkling cellophane right in front of the mic.
I take pride in it.
You do?
Yes. All right.
What do you have?
I've got yarn.
As do I. Oh, you got
Ooh.
the lace weight.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Manos.
Oh,
Alegria
guys.
Grande. Oh, that's nice.
Isn't it?
And you've got
This
the Manos.
is the Marina.
Marina lace weight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't do that.
Still smells like vinegar. I'm gonna do it. In fact. Yes, quite right. Yes, quite right.
Those are nice.
Isn't
I
it?
just want to pet them. Just pet the yarn babies.
Oh, we've also got
Oh, yeah, that one's mine.
these
That
braids.
one's just mine.
Oh,
that's
okay. So if
mine.
you want this,
No, that's just mine. I only ordered one. Seriously, this is just mine.
okay,
That's just for me.
come talk to me. Maybe we can make an arrangement.
Is this new? This is new for us, right? This is the
Yes.
the DK?
No, that's worsted weight.
It's worsted weight. I'll agree.
Yeah, we decided to go with that instead of the single ply.
Right, I remember that. Okay. I don't remember a lot of things, but is that all lace weight in that box?
No, there's sock yarn buried underneath.
Oh, no. pattern of this. Because I don't know if I can remember it.
This one's putting off heat.
I'll make a sample and then you can order it. Ooh.
Trish
We've had that before.
Yeah, a lot of it's reorder. There's so much of it, guys.
There's a lot.
We're going to be busy on Tuesday.
Yes. Okay. So that's it for new stuff. Do you have any finished objects?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, they gave me the pattern.
Got
They're
patterns.
so nice.
Oh.
They are so nice.
I left my backpack over there.
In case you were wondering, this, oh, I really like this. This is what I was going to do with that gradient kit. This is the Manos Gradiente by Jocelyn Tooney. Really pretty. Really nice. Oh, those are cute socks. So tell me about your finished object.
Okay, so this one comes with a little bit of a story. So the last podcast, if you may have watched that, Amy had a finished object that was a hat that was made with the Mecca, and she had finished it in just like a few days, maybe a week. Anyway.
Maybe no, it was one afternoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was leisurely knit. I was kind of I should have knit that because I totally could have finished that as a finished object from in a week or two easily. Mm-hmm. So she was like, "Why don't you test knit it for me, and then you could do it as well?" And I was like, "I will do that. Then I'll have a finished object for the next podcast." So I'm knitting this thing, and I knit on it a little bit slower because I'm bouncing back and forth between things, but also because I'm busy at the shop, so I don't get a whole lot of time to knit. After about a week and a half on Thursday, 3 days out from the podcast, I get to where I'd start doing my decreases at the top. And as I'm doing my decreases, I figure out my counts wrong.
No, first you were like, Amy, there's something wrong with your pattern.
No, I wasn't.
You were about to.
No, I wasn't. You're putting words in my mouth. Anyway, no, my decreases, the numbers weren't adding up. I was like, that's weird. And then I thought that it was a little bit snugger than I expected it to be. So I recounted the cast on, and it was 10 short of what it was supposed to have been. I'd cast on 60 instead of 70, and I have no idea how that happened.
And at this point, how many had Trish made already?
More than one. Okay, so I get home, I play video games. I'm not gonna lie about it.
Trish has already sent them off to Colorado to her grandkids.
Anyway. No, I think at the time she had only finished one for sure. But so I tore the whole thing out 3 days out before the podcast. And I was like, well, crap. And I cast back on right then and there, the correct cast on. And I'd knit I think that evening I got maybe a couple of inches into it. So I come into work the next day. And I'm just kind of whatever, done with it. I kind of gave up on the challenge. But then Mickey was she was up here at work. And
she was knitting one too.
Yeah, she was knitting one too. And she was like, this is a fast knit. This is bulky weight yarn. You can do it. Get on it. Just do it.
Good pep talk.
Yeah, she was great. So I was like, you know what? I can do this. I just need to focus on it. So I went home and actually knit on it pretty rapidly at the house and resisted the urge to get on the computer. And then on Saturday, I was like, all right, Mickey, take point on Sunday in the shop. I'm going to focus on this hat and knock it out. And she's like, yeah, that's cool. Get on it. Which I basically spent a lot of time on it Sunday up at work. And sure enough,
and you
finished it at 10 minutes till we got off. long story short, the hat is done.
It's a nice hat, too. Show it like you wear it with the brim rolled up just a little bit. And it looks great, and it fits him nice. And the color, that green, it might not be coming through on the camera, but there are so many different shades of green in there. It's just a really nice hat. I'm proud of you. Good work.
Thank you. It was a nice pattern. There were no errors in the pattern.
Except for, I was just typing it out really fast because he was like, I want to knit that hat. Send it to me. So I was just...
Like that?
Exactly. And I put the wrong needle size on there, and I misspelled the name of the yarn, and...
You're still trying to mispronounce the name of the yarn.
Yeah. So, and there's no picture yet. It'll be a free pattern. I'll put it out free. You can have it. It's just a hat.
It's super straightforward.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Yes.
All right.
So I've got my finished object. I'm not going to hit the table again. Do you have any finished objects?
I do. Why, yes, I do.
Oh.
This is the Alexandra Davidoff Dragon. It was a mystery knit along for the month of October. It is finished. I believe you can just buy the pattern now on Ravelry, I think. She calls it a scarf necklace. So it's meant to hang pretty low. There should be a clasp in the back, which I don't have yet. I just have mine held together with a stitch marker. But you put it together in the back, and you steam block it. You don't get it wet because it's 120 of these tiny little, these little scales that you knit, and inside each one is a little bead. This happens to be the Mocha Dragon Latte colorway in TML Copper, which means it's got a little copper glitter. Got a little glitter running through it. And it's a beautiful dragony green. I really, really enjoyed knitting it. It was a fast knit for me, I guess. So there we go. And Alexandra, when she blocked hers, these little spikes, she pinned them underneath for a cleaner finish. But I really like the little spikes, so I blocked mine out. Because I think it looks more dragony that way. So that was fun. I really enjoyed it. Have I said how much I enjoyed it? And the package of beads that I bought, I got them here at the shop. And you only need 120 beads. I think it says 150 because there's an optional tassel that you can, a beaded tassel that you can make that uses the other few beads. But I only used 120 beads, and I had about 2/3 of the package of beads left. So you could probably make 2 more for your friends. And it's a one skein project. It's just, I can't say enough of how fun it is. It's
Very
fun.
nice.
It's good. It's a good thing. I also finished my Wollmeise mitts. This is my leftover Wollmeise from the Socks This Way by Stella Marante, I think her name. Last name. It's just Stella. Stella's socks is what we call them. But I had so much yarn left over that I made these mitts, and I still probably have enough to make another pair of mitts. There was no pattern for these mitts. I cast on 64 just like I did the socks because I wasn't sure if I was going to make more socks, which I totally could have. But I ended up just increasing the gusset, making a thumb, and now they're mitts. And they're really fun, and they match my socks. I can wear them together.
Cool.
Those are my 2 finished objects. What are you working on?
I'm still working on socks. Whoa. Here's these are probably coming up pretty close on the heel where I do the fish lips kiss heel. And then I've got another pair that I just barely have cast on, just as an example of It's right here. Socks in a different bag. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
These guys.
Mm-hmm. Oh, those are your Ravenclaw.
They are.
Because you're a Hufflepuff trader.
Well, I mean, you're a Hufflepuff denier.
So
What
that's
about
what
you?
you're working on?
Yep.
I am participating in National Knit a Sweater in a Month, also known as Nanny Swimo. And I've chosen a Cocoa Knits out of this book. I've never knit with the Cocoa Knits method before. It is not your typical top-down raglan. It's
the shoulders
something
look
much
strange.
more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I heard that Carla from Quixotic is doing a class on it at the Dallas Hand Knitters Guild tomorrow night. That's Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this podcast past Tuesday, you might have missed it. But if you haven't, you should probably go because it's a lot different. I think I like it. It took me about 2 tries to really get it, because it just doesn't look right until you actually put it on. I'm using our new
Echo Plus. Marino.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's Cascade Echo,
Mm-hmm.
which is just a bulky weight yarn.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Superwash? I don't think it's
I
Superwash.
don't think so.
It's just this is Echo Plus Merino, which is new for them and new for us. There's quite a lot of it. Do you remember how many yards it is? Oh, here's the latest.
Yeah, I think it's 400 something yards.
It is a lot, and it's pretty economical. 100% Bolivian merino wool, which means it's softer than their usual. It's 250 grams, 478 yards.
Nailed it.
For only $25, which that's a lot of yarn for $25.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's merino.
But just to get the sense of how big this is like the sense of her head.
And this is just one skein. I'm pretty much finished with the body of my sweater. It's the Emma version C, which is the big cardigan with the fabric pockets. And what's different about the Cocoa Knits method is the yoke. You start with the yoke in the back, and then you build on kind of like shoulder straps, and then you pick up around those corners, and it creates kind of the top of a sleeve, which kind of looks like a set-in sleeve. And the weird thing was, when it's flat, it looks puckered right here, which was what was throwing me off. But when you put it on, it really conforms to the top of your shoulder. So that was interesting.
Nice.
And I'm using size 10.5 because this yarn is slightly smaller than what the pattern called for, which was a classic elite yarn. So sad.
Mm-hmm.
No more classic elite yarn. So I went up a pattern size and down a needle size. I did swatch just to make sure I liked the fabric. I swatched with an 11, a 10.5, and a 10. And I like the 10.5 better. I don't know what my stitch count was, but I just cast on because she says you can actually check your gauge with the yoke of the sweater because it goes fast. Bulky weight goes fast. So I'm down. I split for the pockets, and I'm about to connect it back all together and do the bottom ribbing. And this is what I have left of the first wall. So really, I think I can get this sweater done with just two balls of this. I know I can.
Very nice.
It'll be great. And that is my National Knit a Sweater in a Month. But I'll probably just knit it in a week.
Is it cheating if you're using bulky weight yarn?
No, it's a sweater.
It's true.
Use bulky weight. Make a child's sweater. You do
Be
you.
a warm kid.
You do you. Oh, I saw a great article. The Mason-Dixon Knitting did an article about how fast or how slow you knit. It doesn't matter, as long as you're happy with what the outcome. So
There you go.
like, he's a slower knitter and I'm a fast knitter. Don't make yourself feel inadequate because someone else is a faster knitter than you. You do you.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of different things to factor into it as well. There's speed. There's also, consistency, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm a pretty consistent knitter, which I like.
Yeah, I think the point of the article was not to compare yourself to other knitters. It was to do you. Which
Nice.
I think is a great message.
There you go.
Yay! So it's time to do a giveaway. Last week we asked you. Calborn is releasing a new 100% wool, 100% United States grown and processed wool called Germantown.
It's a worsted weight.
It's a worsted weight, 220 yards. Retails for about $14 a skein. Comes in a vintage pull skein. And we asked you what your thoughts about it were, if this is something that a product that you would buy from a local yarn store. The reviews were mixed. There were some yeses and there were some nos. So I'm not sure what.
I'm willing to consider it.
Sounds good. So we had our prize is one gleaner. Hunter said we had 21 comments. So I'm going to use my random number generator. Oh, you're going to pull up the winner?
Yes.
You ready?
16 is Tammy Cook.
Congratulations, Tammy.
There you go.
Cook. You have won a gleaner. Let us know if you would like to come in and pick it up or if we can mail it to you. Yay.
Awesome.
All right, so our next giveaway is going to be a skein of our new Malabrigo
Rasta.
In Stitch Red, which is a beautiful color. You can make a nice hat out of this, a nice quick project.
Very quick.
In a beautiful color. So I think our question should be about Nani Swimo, National Knit a Sweater in a Month. If you're participating, let us know. If you're not, and you have knit a sweater before, tell us about your favorite sweater. If you have never knit a sweater yet, tell us what your dream sweater would be.
Cool. Sounds good.
He's knit a sweater.
Yes, I have. I've knit 2 sweaters.
All right, so thank you. That's it from us.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you next time.